All right, it's another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Golficity. It's U.S. Open week, but first we're going to talk a little bit about Garrick Higgo's win at the Palmetto Championship at Congaree. Obviously, we're going to go into the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines. We'll give you our DraftKings lineup this week instead of picks, and we'll make our betting picks for skins. I'm still looking to get on the board after however many weeks it's been, like 23. So yeah, third major of the year. Let's get into it. I am a good, better. I'm a pretty good better, but somehow don't have any skins. I think that's some luck, some just got to put more into the picks. But anyway, let's get inside the ropes. Right off the bat, I mean, what's the bigger story? Is it Higgo or is it Chesson Hadley?
I mean, unfortunately, I think it's Chesson Hadley. I mean, he was kind of rolling along. He probably should have won, and just choked big time on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Garrick Higgo's still like obviously a sick story. Like I almost honestly put $10 at him on the beginning of the week. I think at like 50-1 would have been pretty insane. Would have made the week even better. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Chesson Hadley down the stretch there. What was up with him using like a hybrid off the greens? He was,
it was out there kind of working a little bit. I mean, there was
it though? He was not doing great. He wasn't really getting up and down with it.
Work on the last hole, but like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why that was the choice. It's kind of like putting with loft, and I guess he's been doing it all week, and
just stopped working at an inconvenient time. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, he ended up shooting a 4 over 75 in the last round. He bogeyed each of the last 3 holes. So, like, if he just had made par on 1 or 2 of those holes, he would have.
So imagine the winner. You tell him before the round, 3 over is going to do it today. Or wait, no, it would have been 2 over would have won.
3 over would have gone to a playoff.
Sorry.
2 over would have done it.
2 fine, pretty much same idea. It's like, hey, 2 over is going to do it today. You're good. Other than that,
right? And he went 1 over on the front, and then and then 38 on the back. So like, it's tough. I mean,
it was an up and down week for a lot of guys. Dustin Johnson was like, it seemed like he was sliding and then going up and like making runs. It was not a easy golf course.
Oh no, not at all. I mean,
great debut from Congaree Golf Club.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll ever be back there, but it was.
That tournament really isn't like going to be a mainstay on the PGA Tour unless something else falls out. But the RBC Canadian will be.
I mean, it's definitely a good place. It's a good place to go back to if like tournaments fall out.
I mean, which they do all the time. So,
I mean,
I think that it is very possible that is back on the schedule next year, if given that there is a tournament like in the balance, like where there's an opening that they could do that.
Now it was tough for Chesson Hadley to fall apart in his last round. I feel like if he did it in the second round or the third round, we wouldn't even be talking about him at all. So, and it just kind of got magnified even more that it was his 4th round and that it was the last 3 holes specifically that cost him the tournament. So,
well, yeah, I mean, anytime you fall apart in the last 3 holes of golf tournament, like nobody cares about the 24th, 25th, and 26th holes. They care about like the 70, 71st, and 72nd.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, what'd you do after? He's like, well, it sucks, but we went and got Bojangles, and yeah, that was that. On our right back.
Did you see it?
It sucked. His wife was like made the trip there.
Was she surprising him?
Yeah, like he didn't know that she was there.
Yeah, and, that's tough. That would have been such a good storyline too.
He missed the putt on 18, and she's like crying, and it's just like that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, he still made a lot of money, so can't feel too bad for him. And it's not like I was thinking at first, I was like, oh, damn, that was his chance at like getting a win on tour. It would have been his 2nd win on tour. He's already a tour winner.
Yeah, I mean, that was his chance of getting in the U.S. Open, which would have been a big deal.
Oh, so yeah, that's really bad.
I mean, Garrick Higgo is now in the U.S. Open, so I mean, he would have been in anyway, regardless, because I think he won on the European
and
Tour a couple times. So
he's low key not that much of a long shot. I mean, long shot, however you want to take it. He's like 72-1 or something like that. Like,
I mean, yeah, what was Phil like?
Phil was
150-1.
Was it 250 or 150?
Either or.
I think it was 250 to 1 at the PGA. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how he does this week.
Like 60 to 1 as well to win the Masters.
I think Higgo is gonna like put up a top 40 this week. I was about to put that in my best bets, or did I put him? No, I might have. I don't remember. We'll see. We'll see later in the show.
Yeah,
but
surprise.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise to me as well. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about how before the podcast you got him and Wilco Nine mixed up, right? Because they're both like in South Africa.
Last week you were talking about Garrick Higgo, and I thought he was the other guy because they're both South African. They're both relatively young. They're both good on the European tour, and they're both playing in the U.S. Open this week. So
yeah, and I saw Wilco Nine. You sent this to me that he's averaging 325 yards off the tee on the European tour.
Yeah, it's like 323.9 something. Like is that?
And what's Bryson like 330 on the PGA tour?
I'll double check that, but
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, driving distance.
And he's a lefty, right?
No, he's averaging more than Bryson is.
Wow.
Bryson's at 322.7 on the PGA tour.
Well, you never know with they're playing different courses.
Well, yeah, obviously, but I'm just saying, like
they play in like Abu Dhabi.
He's literally on the same level as Bryson as far as driving distance.
Mm-hmm. And Bryson plays on the European tour sometimes too.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Rory McIlroy's the second closest at 318. Cameron Champ 317. I mean,
talk about not hot. Cameron Champ. Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, you could
he needs to figure it out. He's like shooting like double digits over par over 2 days, like during these tournaments and getting cut.
I mean, yeah, he's pretty much has the driving distance, and then he's like not really good anywhere else for the.
Yeah, I mean, right now. How old is he? Like 25? Yeah, like it's the same thing. He's got time to figure it out.
It's the same thing. Like Matthew Wolff this year, like he was pretty good at approaching last year, and that's why he played so well. But he lost his approach game. He even lost his game off the tee, and like he just hasn't been good this year.
You just mentioned Matthew Wolff, and that's the first time we've mentioned Matthew Wolff on this podcast in a good while.
Well, yeah, because he hasn't played. Like he withdrew from the PGA, and that's kind of the last we heard from him. So
yeah, he's going through some. I mean, I feel like with that type of swing, you're going to go through struggles occasionally.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, if you look at Matthew Wolff's last however many tournaments, the Zurich doesn't really count, but he just got disqualified at the Masters. If you remember, he withdrew from the PGA. He did have a T28 at the World Golf Championships, but that was match play, so it doesn't matter either. Mm-hmm. Withdraw from the other World Golf at Concession after shooting an 83 on the first day.
Right.
T64, T36, another withdrawal at the Farmers.
Damn.
T40, cut at the Masters, the first Masters. And that was coming off of a second at the U.S. Open. So, like, he had that second at the U.S. Open, and he came back at the Shriners, another second place finish, and then the wheels just fell off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how he comes back. Is he playing this week?
He is in the field this week, so hopefully he doesn't withdraw. I mean, I know he had his injury issues as well. So,
what do you say he did at the Farmers again?
He withdrew from the Farmers.
Wow. Interesting. And you can't, you can take the Farmers into, account, obviously, but you can't take it too much into account because, like, it is a little,
it's different.
A little bit of a different course. Yeah. It's
you're going to be playing in U.S. Open conditions this week with high rough. And we'll get into that later. But just going back to Matthew Wolff for a second, he is negative strokes gain off the tee. And that's crazy because he's seventh in driving distance. Yeah. And that's like one of the things that goes into that. So being negative strokes gain off the tee while being top 10 in driving distance means he's just spraying the ball all over the place.
Yeah, that's crazy. But
hopefully he figures it out.
And then just some other takeaways from this week. I know you mentioned Cole Hammer in here, all-time golf name. He's actually I've had him on my radar for a while. He's the UT guy, right?
Yeah. Is he's still an M, right?
I think he might have he just turned pro after the Byron Nelson, I believe.
Yeah, I mean that's an all-time golf name. Like,
yeah.
If your name's Cole Hammer and you're playing golf, like that's just perfect.
We should DM him, get him on the pod.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And then just some other things before we move into anything else, the USGA on Will Zalatoris' locker put up I didn't even see this at first, but it's the picture of what's his name of
Happy Gilmore's
caddy up on his locker below like their logo. Pretty funny.
Yeah, they're having fun with him this week. I mean, I think everybody gets like some kind of a ball marker or something like that, and they did it in reverse alphabetical order this time. Everything usually is in alphabetical order, and Will Zalatoris posts on like his story like, finally reverse alphabetical order for once. He's like the only Z in the field, so
yeah,
they, like obviously did it for him.
Right. And then big storyline this week. I forget who it was that was talking about this, but they were like, "Hey, don't count out Phil this week. Like he wants it just as much, if not more, than anyone in the field."
I mean, yeah, and obviously he's a California guy, so
and the U.S. Open's what he needs, correct?
Yeah, U.S. Open is what he needs
Grand
to complete the Grand Slam.
How many times? 6 times he's finished runner-up?
Yeah, it's something crazy like that, which is just, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, if there was no such thing as Tiger, he'd probably have like 3. So
probably. I wonder how many of those were runner-ups to Tiger.
I mean, yeah, I would not count him out this week at all. I mean, he got cut at the Charles Schwab after the PGA, but that was like the week after the PGA.
Yeah, he really did not give one single whatever about that, because like I remember he said after his opening round he like struggled a bit. He's like, yeah, I struggled a little bit, but I won the PGA last week. So
I mean, listen, he made the cut at the Farmers this year. Not that that's something you totally put into account, but
I mean it's the same course technically. It's not the same course setup, but
because they play the north and the south for the Farmers, so they start off the north, south, and then they go to the south.
But to be fair, like he's got the distance off the tee for a U.S. Open. It's just a matter of whether
he was pretty locked in for the PGA. So
yeah,
I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing. I mean, the PGA
was set up really, really, really tough this year. So
yeah, I mean the PGA was set up very similarly to the U.S. Open and in that sense this year. And it was also another coastal course. You have 2 coastal courses for the U.S. Open and the PGA this year. So there's going to be a little more correlation between the two, I think.
I mean, the rough is looking absolutely abysmal.
I mean, that's what we like to see.
I love it. Every year they're like U.S. Open week or major week or whatever it is, really. They decide to put out the videos like on Monday of people dropping balls into the rough and it just disappears. But there was one, it was green side, and they dropped it in the rough. It was right next to the green. And it was like, tag somebody who's not like putting this on the green. And I simply don't know how you're supposed to hit that golf ball.
I mean, just like you just got to take a hack, I guess.
Yeah, but your green side, like you can't take a hack.
60-degree, open up the club face as much as you can and just hack at it. You're probably not getting it out, but
I guess, but like it'll be very fun to watch them try to attempt to do that.
Yeah, just put like a 70-degree wedge in the bag this week.
So I'm thinking like Patrick Reed could be a good pick this year. He won the Farmers Insurance, no?
I mean, I'll get into my picks later. My winner pick is kind of similar to that type of player. So
right.
We'll get into that later. I just think short game is going to be important this week.
Absolutely. And like, obviously you harp in on all these things that you're like, oh, these are important this week, but you got to realize it's like, okay, you can't just like look at somebody's strokes gained around the green and be like, they're going to play well here. It's like, no, like you watch the first, like whatever of the tournament, you're like, you're right. Hitting the ball straight matters as well. Mm-hmm. Like if you're ball striking, like you don't, sometimes you don't
want
need
to end up in the rough. You want to be in the fairway. Like
exactly
in the rough, you have like your percentage of making a birdie or a par goes way down. So exactly.
Yeah. And then the last time the US Open was at Torrey, the matchup at the end, Tiger versus Rocco.
Yeah, a little 18-hole playoff when Tiger like couldn't walk.
That was Monday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it was Stevie Williams on the bag, correct?
Yes, it was.
Right. I think I feel like I've seen some sort of, like not an E60, but some mini documentary on that round.
Yeah, I think it was on Rocco. It was Rocco's documentary.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, because I remember Stevie Williams talking about it.
Yeah, it was on Rocco's.
Was that the same time that Stevie Williams like forgot the golf balls in the hotel room or something?
Oh, that was at Pebble, I think.
Oh, that was at Pebble. Why did I
Yeah.
think we were at Loki was just thinking we were at Pebble. Like,
Well,
I know
because
we're
it's
not.
like both Southern California like
Yeah.
coastal courses.
Well,
But
I mean, Pebble's not
well,
incredibly southern, but
you
yeah,
know.
fair enough. Yeah. Anything? Do we want to go into anything else before we start talking about the course and just like everything kind of on the player side?
How about People's Champ of the Week?
What do we got?
All right, so People's Champ of the Week. So obviously last week was supposed to be the RBC Canadian Open, but it got replaced by the Palmetto Championship, due to travel restrictions and COVID. But I just noticed this in the logo for the Palmetto Championship. Instead of like a palm tree or whatever the tree that's on the South Carolina flag, um, they put in like a maple leaf tree, kind of to pay tribute to
Okay.
the RBC Canadian Open. So I thought
Did
that
you
was
see?
pretty
Did
cool.
you happen to see the trophy?
No, I didn't.
Pretty cool trophy. It's like pretty much just like a house, like one of those kind of.
Yeah.
Just look it up real quick. It's
Yeah,
a gold statue. Looks maybe bronze. I don't know what it was, but it looks super heavy. And
Oh yeah.
Was that gold or bronze?
Looks like a bronze base and like a gold house.
Gotcha. Also, another thing, kind of random. What do you think of Garrick Higgo's style? Do you like the sunglasses?
I don't mind the sunglasses. I'm not a big fan of like the flat brim like hats.
No, me either. I'm trying to think of somebody who really like can pull that off. I guess maybe
Charlie Hoffman.
Cam Smith with the mullet, kind of necessary to have the flat brim.
I feel like that's a Charlie Hoffman.
Does Tony Finau have a flat brim? Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Day wears the flat brim.
Like it doesn't look right on Garrett Higgo. Like it looks
no,
like,
it doesn't.
I remember like the PGA Tour video game. The one with the really big hat. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that on Garrett Higgo.
Yeah,
his hat looks bigger than
because it's a rope hat, right?
Yeah.
So like rope hats are interesting. I feel like everybody in the golf community will agree with this. Rope hats, you're either a rope hat guy or you look so dumb in a rope hat. It's one or the other. There's certain people who can pull them off, and there's not many people who can pull them off. But rope hats, if it's not for you, don't wear them because they look so dumb. They're like just like super boxy and like just not it. Remember, I ordered a Shinnecock rope hat, like what was that, 2017 or 2018? 2018. And it just came and I was like, nope, I'm sending this directly back. It was cool. I wish rope hats were better because they do look cool.
I don't really think Garrett Higgo like pulls it off. So
no, but
maybe it's because he wears the sunglasses and the rope hat's probably better for sunglasses.
I was gonna say the flat brim with the sunglasses. Like I hate wearing sunglasses with the curved brim. But anyway, we kind of got off track there. We can also go into stat of the week. Speaking of Higgo, he's the first player since 1988 to win in his first regular season PGA Tour debut.
Now, yeah, they said that on the broadcast. I have no clue who it was, but that won in their first start.
Well, considering I was negative 11 years old, I don't think I was really paying too much attention to the PGA Tour in 1988. But you look it up right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
That might be a little bit of a hard one to find.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to find this one.
Yeah, I mean, Will Zalatoris' major debut was the U.S. Open, I think, right? And he came T6. I mean, he was close to doing that.
Yeah, I mean, so Garrett Higgo, he played in one PGA Tour event before played in the PGA Championship, but that's technically not a regular season.
That's not a regular season,
tour,
yeah,
because it's a major. So
yeah,
he made the cut T64. So
yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah, cool. So on that note, let's get into skins with the course preview. But first, a little word from our friends over at Roback.
You probably noticed us wearing some new Roback merch over the past few episodes, whether it was the hat both me and Jake are wearing right now. Trevor has one as well. A pullover or a collared shirt. We're partnering with Roback in 2021, and we couldn't be more excited. So head to the link in our bio, add the Roback merch you want, and you'll get 15% off just by using the link. So enjoy and crave activity.
Okay, so skins. We got the U.S. Open this week, playing at Torrey Pines South. They play the Farmers Insurance Open also at Torrey Pines, but they play the North and the South. They alternate, and then they play the South for the final round. This week's gonna be playing a par 71. It's gonna be 76-43. The main difference is hole number 6 is now going to be a par 4 instead of a par 5. At the Farmers, it's a par 5. I mean, I don't think they shortened it at all, but it's now playing as par 4 for the U.S. Open, just to make it a little bit tougher. As we mentioned earlier, it's the first U.S. Open since 2008 with Tiger and Rocco. And one thing to pay attention to this week is the wind. It's a coastal course, kind of similar to Kiowa. So wind's going to be a factor. I don't think we really thought about that last time around when we were previewing the PGA, and we probably should have thought about it more because the wind was killing some people. And then people who have won the U.S. Opens usually are at the top part of the field in driving distance, so that's kind of something to look at this week. Hitting fairways is also going to be key since the rough will be pretty tough. We kind of mentioned that before. And as always, the greens will be firm and fast, just like at every other U.S. Open. Key stats to look at this week, as I mentioned, driving distance, strokes gain approach, strokes gain around the green, and par 4s gain 450 to 500. You definitely want to be sharp around the green because, as Pat mentioned before, the rough around the green's pretty tough, and they're not going to be very straightforward.
What's your guess? What do you nailed the last winning score at the PGA 6 under, I think, right?
Yeah.
What's your guess this week? Let me think of what mine is before you say.
I gotta think about it as well.
Okay, I got it.
I think it's gonna be 4 under.
Okay. I was going with 6 again.
I think it's gonna be 4. I think you're gonna have a lot of guys over par near the top of the leaderboard, and then somebody's gonna end up at 4. And that's
I think you honestly might be right because the winning score at the Farmers wasn't even that high, and or low. I always forget like which one you can say. But it's always kind of confusing in golf. But yeah, I feel like this week's just gonna be a whole different animal than even the PGA because there's the wind, and then they set up the PGA to be hard, but the U.S. Open really likes to just mess with you. So I might even go as far as to say it might be below 4 under.
I mean, yeah. So the winning score at the
as an above 4 under
was 14 under.
Okay,
Patrick Reed, but yeah. I mean, I'm thinking 4. I think they're going to,
but also
tough. But I think somebody's going to have a good week where they play steady enough where 4 is going to be.
To be fair, one of those rounds is also played at the North Course.
Yes, correct.
So I don't know. There's something to consider. I guess I'll go final answer. I'll stick with my guns and go final answer 6 under. Hopefully there's egg on my face and there's carnage and the winning score is like 4 over.
I mean, I wonder if there's any bets for there's got to be like.
Oh yeah, I mean, there will be on like DraftKings. I mean, obviously it's Monday right now, so we don't really know about that one. We know a lot of the bets, but yeah, no, there usually is on books. Beating the book usually has something for that.
Yeah, I don't know. Will be interesting to look at. I'm going to say 4. I'm sticking with it.
Okay. And then, so for DraftKings this week, and I think depending on unless anyone really has any opposition to it, which I don't think they will, we're going to, instead of just giving out 2 people each, we're having a conversation with Mr. Catalano, Jeek's dad. And we actually think that just giving out a lineup might be a little bit better because when you're giving out guys like we're all giving out like an 8,100 and like a 700 or like 7,000, just kind of like it's weird to balance. It's like, let's give you guys a lineup.
I mean, yeah, if any of you guys follow Golficity Bets, we used to do the skin segment over there,
right,
on the podcast. And
if you've been around since Golficity Bets and skins, or specifically the IGTV series skins, you're a real one.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, we started doing a lineup over there. I mean, our lineups weren't that great because I feel like we didn't really come together to bake those. It was more like, okay, pick two guys. Oh, do they fit in the salary? Yeah, okay. But I think
exactly.
This time around, we're really together on this. So
yeah. By the way, if you guys haven't noticed, Trevor isn't here this week. I'm assuming you have, considering he hasn't said anything, and he's not just on mute. Where is he? He's doing some.
Yeah, he's doing the Connecticut Amateur Open or something.
Yeah, he's working. we are alumni of colleges now and have stuff to do. But anyway, let's get into the picks this week. We're going with our high pick is like just our number one guy, the favorite, Jon Rahm. I don't really think we have to say much about that. I mean, I'll get into it a little bit later as well, but even though he's the favorite, who's better than him in the world right now? Like,
right. I mean,
realistically, anyone's better than him?
The thing I'm going to say about Jon Rahm is like, he's got to be like ticked off like right now, especially of how the last tournament ended. He was playing so well, and then the whole COVID thing, and like he probably would have won that tournament. So I feel like he's going to come into this one and he'll be locked. In.
Yeah. And then who's our second one?
The second one is Will Zalatoris. We'll get into that a little bit later too, but like, I mean, he's been insane in the majors so far. So he's at 8,600, which is pretty good value for Will Zalatoris, saying he's finished top 10 in the last three top 15, I think, in the last three majors. So
yeah, I mean, you can get some real value at guys like lower. That's why I felt comfortable with going with Rahm with our like number one pick.
I mean, I think for Will Zalatoris, all it comes down to is his putting. I mean, he's going to approach the green well. He's going to hit the ball pretty far. So
yeah. And our third one, 7,900. I feel like 7,900 is always like the sweet spot for the third pick. But it's Paul Casey. 38th in driving distance.
I love
which is
Paul Casey this week. I mean,
so low key that he's 38th in driving distance. We say that every time we pick him, and like that becomes a stat that we say. But it's just like you don't think of him as a big bomber, but he's got a sweet swing.
I mean, obviously he's a good ball striker as well. He's fifth in strokes gained approach and on a really good run of form. I mean, he played in the European Open, I think last week or maybe the week before, was sixth in that. He was T4 at the PGA, T21 at the Valspar. So that's his last three starts. And also, this is a stat that I didn't really know, but in his last four US Opens, T17, T21, T16, and 26. So that's pretty good in the US Open.
I'd say so.
I feel like if he has a good putting week, I think he might win this week.
He's so due. He might be like the most due guy on tour outside of Tony Finau.
Yeah, I mean, I think I might put some money on him this week to get the win.
Maybe.
Might
have to.
Much, so
I wonder what his odds are. Let me look that up real quick.
They're probably in the middle area. He's 79 for DraftKings. So
Paul Casey is 45-1.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty good value.
And then next, another guy I really like this week, Shane Lowry. Kind of like the Europeans this week. He's also on an excellent run of form. He's made his last 7 cuts, including a T6, a T4, which was at the PGA as well, a T9, and a solo 8. And he's another one of those guys that has really good game around the greens. I think he's 21st in strokes gained around the greens. I mean, he's known for having that soft touch around the greens, and he's pretty much top 50 in every major category except for putting. So once again, putter is hot, which it has been the last couple of weeks. I mean, he's another guy that might be able to win.
Yeah, and speaking of putting, Jason Kokrak, he's got the putter going in that win at, where did he win?
Was it the Charles Schwab? No.
Yeah. It was the Charles Schwab over Spieth. Yes. Yeah, but he had to go in there. Great ball striker. He's got it going recently, I feel like. So yeah, I like him. 7,600 also, just like such good value.
One thing, I was going to mention it later, but I'll mention it now. One thing about Jason Kokrak, like, that I like is in terms of like both power and putting, like together, like he really only Bryson and Jon Rahm are the only other 2 players that like could kind of either match him or are better than him in those 2 categories, like together. Like I wish there was some kind of stat that kind of combined putting with power, and just like some kind of like index or something that just kind of put those 2 together.
I'll talk to my oh wait, dude. That would be such a good idea. The sport analytics majors at Syracuse, like when they're like freshmen, have to think of like something to do, kind of like that, like making a stat almost.
I mean, that would be like great. I bet if you put those 2 together and like kind of average it out and stuff like that, if you look at the top 10 golfers or whatever, I'm sure like it's like Jon Rahm and DJ, and like it's going to be like the top 10.
I should give that idea to someone. I don't know anyone who's a freshman at Syracuse. So
anyone who's listening.
Yeah, if you're a freshman sport analytics major, you got your senior thesis right there.
Just give credit to the
buddy.
Pin High podcast
Yeah.
in the citations.
Yeah, literally just no. And the main thing, just go by Jason Smith dash Wayne Gretzky dash Pin High podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Dash Michael Scott. And then we'll go our last one, Ryan Palmer at 7,100. I mean, again, like I said, you can really find some value down here. We're also looking at Garrick Higgo at 7,200, but we didn't have enough for him. But he was T2 at the Farmers. I know, like we said, like it's gonna play differently. Like they played the North Course for a round, but 7,100 for a guy who, is going to feel confident here and who has distance off the tee. Pretty good.
I love DraftKings for major weeks. You
Yeah.
just get such good value. I mean,
You
like
do.
Jason Kokrak, he won 2 weeks ago. He's 76 or something like that. So
I'm feeling confident about this lineup.
yeah, I like it as well. I mean, the only thing is, like, I feel like our best chance to like really make money is if one of the guys near the bottom wins. If
Ryan Palmer won.
Yeah. If
John Rahm wins, like
10.
if John Rahm wins, like, yeah, it's like boring to say like, oh yeah, I took the top guy, but it's like if he wins, which he very well might, like you're going to be kicking yourself if you don't have him.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it, especially during a major week, to pick one of the top guys.
Yeah.
Ow.
Agreed. And I mean, we fit him in, and we still have like an excellent lineup. I feel like we didn't have any like
no, we really didn't have to sacrifice
the
much.
Top guy, like usually when you pick the top guy, I feel like your last guy is someone that you're just like, all right, like this is a flyer. Like we'll see if he does well or not.
It's because usually the guys in the seven, the guys in the 7,000s aren't usually as good as they are during major week other weeks. Like you got some like scrubs at like 7,200 in other weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ryan Palmer finished second in the Farmers. So
he did.
Yeah. So I mean, I like it.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm entering that into a $3 DraftKings lineup. I'm sure some of you will probably put it into bigger of a pool or smaller of a pool. Yeah, we'll get back to you on whether that wins money or not. I'm confident. Let's get into skins though. There's one skin on the line this week, so that means the best bet thing is minus 150. I need to get on the board, dude. You guys are Jika's 12, Trevor's 11. I have zilch. Nada.
Last week we kind of had the matchup Hail Marys. There was no betting lines out, and worked out for me. Didn't work out for either of you.
Yeah.
And then I mean, so Trev's not here, and he didn't give us picks, but we're gonna try to predict his picks because
these are literally the most Trev picks of all time that we picked for him.
Yeah. So Trev's winner this week, Xander Schauffele plus 1,500. Trev loves Xander Schauffele, and like obviously we always say it, he's due.
He is.
So I mean, I feel like he plays well in majors. This might be Trev's pick. And then best bet, another guy that Trev loves, Abraham Answer, top 40 at minus 150, which I think is also excellent value. I feel like that would be something that Trev would pick out. So he's got Answer top 40. He's got Schauffele to win, and those are Trev's picks.
Honestly, I would love it. Don't tell Trev that we've recorded yet. I bet he literally picks. There is like a 76% chance he picks those exact two picks.
76 on the dot, huh?
Yes. 76 in destiny. Anyway, let's get into our own picks. I've got John Rahm to win. I know, like I said, he's the favorite. Whatever. Sue me. He's plus 1050. I think that's still pretty decent value. It's not like he's plus 600. Like Bryson was like plus 550 when the Masters in the fall. Like that's not worth it. But plus 1050, I'll do it. 10.5 to 1. Really don't care if he's the favorite. He won the Farmers in 2017, so he's good course history here. Obviously dominated the Memorial. He was asymptomatic though, like with the whole COVID thing, and I bet he didn't even take that much time off of like actually practicing. Seems like he's in a good mental space.
He was so locked in at the moment.
He's really he's just like there's no glaring weakness. He's elite all around, and he plays well during majors and plays well at difficult courses like the Memorial, like Muirfield Village.
I think he's got a U.S. Open in him. He's gonna win a U.S. Open in his career because like the U.S. Open fits his game so perfectly. Yeah. So I mean, I like it as well. I mean, I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to pick the favorite. So
precisely. And before I make my bet, I want to make sure that this one thing is not here. I want to see. Oh, okay. So I'm switching my best bet. It was going to be Garrick Higgo top 40, but is going to be a hole-in-one in the tournament.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for that.
And it's going to be, yes, at minus 125.
Any rhyme or reason, or you're just feeling a hole in one?
I'm feeling a hole-in-one.
Okay.
I'm feeling a hole-in-one.
I mean, the last one, like you were.
It's a fun bet. It's a fun bet to ride along with, too.
Championship, we were saying how
so many came close.
They were all like 200 plus yards and all that stuff, and like that's why you said there was going to be no hole in one. But then we had 5 close calls, like legitimately 5 close
at least
calls. These guys
that we saw.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I like that.
I'm going minus 125. Yes, I'm going to be watching the par threes this week, and every time one comes close, I'm going to be like, odds are I'm going to miss it.
When they do featured holes, like you're just gonna watch the par threes.
Exactly. Just see people surrounding that pin.
Yeah, Pat didn't see who won the tournament, but he saw all the par threes. Exactly.
Once they passed the final par three, I turned off featured coverage.
You just turn it off in general. You don't watch the rest of it.
Yeah. Turn it off.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. So my winner this week, I'm gonna go for Louis Oosthuizen. He's plus 4,000, which is really good value. Like I said before, I really like John Rahm, but I'm not gonna pick the favorite. I feel like that's no fun for me. So, Louis Oosthuizen has an excellent run of form in majors recently. He had a solo third at the U.S. Open last year, T23 at the Masters, obviously T2 at the PGA. I mean, I think he came closest to Phil, with Brooks kind of falling apart there. He's not the longest of hitters, but he does have great lawn iron game. So like, if you're not a lawn hitter at a U.S. Open, if you have a good lawn iron game, you could still win. I mean, it's very possible. He's 7th in approaches from 200 to 225 yards, which is pretty long way out. He's also 3rd in par fours gained 450 to 500, which like most of the par fours play those yardages. So, I mean, that's definitely a good stat to look into. But the thing that really sets Louis apart is just his prowess on the greens. He's 1st in strokes gained putting this year, which is a stat that I did not know. I knew he was a good putter. So, I mean, 1st in strokes gained putting. I mean, hopefully he makes a ton of putts this week, and he's gotten close. So I feel like this might be his week where he wins it all. So, I actually do really like Louis this week at plus 4,000, and also the wind might be a factor this week. The South Africans pretty good at playing in the wind. So,
do we? We just gotta go heavy with the South Africans.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna pick my best bet was going to be a nationality,
By the way, if you still
nationality of winner, South African plus 1,400 or something.
If you still want to throw out Garrick Higgo top 40 out there, be my guest. I just thought it would be more fun for the podcast if I threw in the yes hole in one. Yeah, by the way, yes hole in one on
zero skins. So
yes hole in one on my illegal offshore book is minus 160.
I mean, so, yeah, what's it, minus 125?
Minus 125 on DraftKings. So,
I mean, yeah. So my best bet, it's kind of a safe one, but I'm gonna go with Will Zalatoris top 40. He's minus 150. I mean, I would even bet him up to top 20. I feel like he's got that in his bag. I mean, he's finished top 10 in every major he's played as a pro. So top 40 should be relatively easy if he keeps that run of form. T8 at the PGA, solo 2nd at the Masters, and T6 at the US Open last year. And he's also near the top of the field in strokes gained approach and driving distance. So Torrey should play pretty nice into his game. And just another little thing, T7 at the Farmers earlier this year. So
there you go. So first round leaders, what do we got?
Yeah, so we got 2 this week. We actually had Higgo as our first round leader last week, and he ended up winning. He didn't get first round leader, but he won. So
good for us, kind of. We called. We're talking about him.
Yeah,
he was on our radar.
Yeah. So first round leader, I'm gonna go with Jason Kokrak plus 5,000. Now we have him in our DraftKings lineup, which is, I mean, no surprise. I mean, that's just kind of how it works. But as we've seen in the past, he could get hot. He's been on a really excellent run of form, as we mentioned before. And his game shapes pretty nicely for Torrey. And I kind of just realized this when I picked Jason Kokrak before I even looked at this, but he's actually 1st in round one scoring this year, and he's plus 5,000. So
not too shabby.
Yeah, good value. Now, since this is a major week, we're going to give you another one, and I have Gary Woodland. He's plus 6,000. His game's kind of rounding in the form. He shot an opening round 66 of the Farmers earlier this year.
Was that at the South course?
Probably at the North course, but
I could have been. No, wait.
Somewhat similar.
I low-key think that he shot the 66 at the South course, and then he like blew up at the North.
You know, we'll double check that.
I'm almost positive.
I mean, yeah, so just like one other thing about Gary Woodland, obviously his game fits pretty well to it was the North course, sorry. Obviously his game fits pretty well to US Opens. We saw him at Pebble a couple years ago win it all. So I mean, like, he's rounding in the form, his game's getting better. First round leader, definitely not out of the question.
Out of the question, and good value, obviously.
Yeah.
So to wrap up the week in the clubhouse, what are we thinking?
Oh wow, didn't even think about it.
Yeah. No, that's where the best, most organic in the clubhouses come from. Because you're not thinking about it just comes off the cuff. And you know, off the top of my head, cannot really think of anything.
I mean, we did have the part threes of things you would go back for.
We could do that real quick.
Should we do that, or should we wait for Trev for that one?
Yeah, it's US Open week. Give him a part three.
Okay, so part three of things you would go back for if you left it at like the green or the tee box.
Or do we want to go do things you wouldn't go back for?
I don't know. What are you more likely to? Are you more likely to not go back or to go back?
I'm more likely to not go back, but like obviously if it's a club, I'm gonna go back. Let's do things we wouldn't go back for. No, go back for is way easier.
Let's do things we would go back for. Because like
I'm gonna start it off then.
Handful, they're more specific. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna start it off. Wedge, club. More likely it's gonna be a wedge that you leave, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have to pick that one first. I mean, I would say like specific for me, like I have a head cover that's from like certain places. So like I have I think it was Harbor Town head cover or something like that, and like it's a really nice head cover, and like paid
that costs like $50 at least.
I paid a lot of money for it, so I feel like I would go back for that. Kind of similar to that. Like if any of you guys have like a Masters head cover or something like that you paid a lot for, I
would never put a Masters head cover on any of my clubs. I feel like that's the dustiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But I'm just like saying, I feel like I would go back for something that I would pay a lot for. Let's just alternate because.
Okay, yeah, might as well. No snake draft. Another thing I would go back for. I mean, I want to say it is something I'd go back for, but I've left it before when I've realized it's gone, and it's like a water bottle, like a hydro flask. So now I would, because I've already lost so many that like
you gotta
I gotta go back. Like I can't keep spending money on hydro flasks. So yeah, I would go back for like a hydro flask or like a swell or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like things of value, like a rangefinder. I would go back for a rangefinder.
Oh, easily.
So
easily. Yeah. Okay, rangefinder.
It's a little tough after these ones.
Trying to think. Well, something like you leap on, because like rangefinder is a good one. That's a good pick. I would go back. I mean, how many holes are we talking? Like literally just like a hole?
A hole to like.
I would go back for a full beer.
Like 3 holes.
For a full beer, if I'm limited.
Only 1 hole though.
Yeah.
Like if you left your beer on like 14 and you're on like, well, maybe I should make it earlier in the round. If you left your beer on like 4 and you were on like 9, you wouldn't go back.
No, but if it's like, if we're on the green and it's like on the tee box, I forgot on the tee box. Even like par 4, maybe not par 5, but par 4, I'm going back for it.
Yeah, I mean, also I feel like this is all dependent on like if you have a cart or not. Like if you have a cart, like it's much easier to go back for something than if you don't.
It's still just the hassle of like if someone's playing behind you, like it's just the hassle of going to get it.
Definitely. And having like asked them like, oh, have you seen my like head cover?
Have you seen my?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, we killed it on the TV.
No, bleep out the name of the beer. We don't give out free sponsors, free ads. Unless wants to sponsor us, in which case.
What's something that I would go back for? Like another thing. I mean, there's
your last
obvious.
pick.
There's obvious ones. I mean, like your phone.
Like, that's like you don't leave your phone though.
I feel like you do.
To be fair, I put my
take your phone out and you put it right next to the tee marker. I feel like
I do. I don't feel like you never do.
Well, yeah, I usually keep my phone in my bag, so I don't do that. But like, I would do that if I did what you did. So
fair enough.
I would go back for my phone. Obviously, it would go back for my phone.
Yes,
I'll just leave it there. I'll get a new one. Like,
you'd go anywhere for your phone.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just trying to think of like other things because, like, obviously, if you left like tees or balls or like you wouldn't go back for that.
No. And two of my picks, beer and like water bottle thing, like they also could be on the other list of things I wouldn't go back for. So it's a little interesting. It's very dependent on the situation.
Kind of walking the line there.
Walking the line for sure.
I'm trying to think of like what are other things that we would like bring to the tee box.
Other clubs, but I already said wedge.
I mean, maybe if you brought if you had like a pullover or something and you took it off.
Yeah, or like a speaker or something.
Yeah, I would probably go back for
I go back. Dude, pullovers are like $100 at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Like $80.
I'm thinking of like value.
But at Rowback, if you go to our link, you can get it for less than that.
That's true.
You can get less for $100.
Okay, so what are things that you wouldn't go back for? We might as well just go through that as well.
I don't know. I have 3%.
We don't have to do it in like order, just like random things. Just list them. I mean,
I wouldn't go back for a ball. Ball marker is interesting though. Depends from where.
Probably, if I left a ball marker,
I still wouldn't go back for it. It's just like that's an L. That's an L. Even if it's a nice ball marker.
I have so many ball markers that like if I lost one of them, I wouldn't be like destroyed.
I don't have that many ball markers anymore because of this exact reason. Because I don't go back for them. Exactly. Yeah.
Towel, probably not a towel. I might go back for the pin high towel we got, but
I might go back for the pin high towel. Or at the same time, I might not and just hope it shows up in the clubhouse in the lost and found. Yeah, but I feel like I don't know. We can kind of conclude the episode there. I have 3% on my computer anyway, so. But yeah, U.S. Open week going to be a great major. Honestly, might be even better than the PGA as much as that sounds ridiculous because you had Phil at 6 under, like great major score, great winner. But
I want to see some carnage and I want to see it close near the end.
I mean, we're in the clubhouse. You know what? Let's throw in one last thing. Throw in somebody. They don't have to be like wildly underdog, but throw in somebody that you think could win at like 80-1 or more. 100-1 or more. 100-1 or more.
Okay, Sam Burns.
Okay.
He's 110-1.
I think that Max Homa could win. I think Max Homa could win.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's a good ball striker.
Yeah.
He did well at the PGA for a while, or didn't he?
He did. And then also
did well at Muirfield.
What's his name? The South African guy.
Wilco Nineaber. That guy is going to do well.
Yeah.
Put it on the board, clip
300
it.
300-1.
Wilco Nineaber is going to do awesome. He's going to come top 20 in this tournament. Book it. We'll see you next week for whatever tournament is not as good as this one.
Dude, the Travelers. The Travelers is good.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. It just gets better. Wow. Didn't realize the Travelers. Nope, it's not better. I got 1% on my computer. We'll see you next Wednesday. Whatever.